For centuries, the Galactic Academy had dismissed Earth as a backwater death world, filled with irrational primates who somehow survived their own self-destructive tendencies. The mere idea that humans could contribute anything to galactic knowledge was often met with mockery or horror until the day of the revelation. A transmission from Earth had just been received. Official confirmation of UFOs. For the first time in history, humans admitted the existence of unidentified aerial phenomena. The alien students hailing from peaceful worlds with structured societies, rational governments, and predictable technology found themselves staring in disbelief. Wait, you mean you've had alien encounters and just ignored them? A stunned silence filled the Academy Hall. To every advanced civilization, disclosure was a major eventone that led to intergalactic integration, scientific advancements, and societal restructuring. But humanity? Humanity had just shrugged it off like a mild inconvenience. For an alien student raised in a culture of order and cautious diplomacy, the realization was terrifying. If humans could live alongside the unknown without fear, what else were they capable of? The students debated frantically, trying to process the implications. Why hadn't Earth reacted with panic? Did they already know more than they were letting on? Was humanity secretly one of the most powerful species in the galaxy? As the Galactic Academy delves deeper into the mystery of Earth's reaction, one horrifying possibility emerges. Maybe humans aren't ignoring the unknown. Maybe, for them, the unknown is normal. And if that were true, what else was Earth hiding? The Galactic Academy of Higher Learning, located on the pristine and orderly world of Veltron-5, prided itself on being the intellectual hub of the universe. It was a place of structured learning, scientific precision, and bureaucratic efficiency, where every new species that joined the galactic community was carefully documented, categorized, and assigned a place within the universal order. For centuries, the Academy's scholars had ranked and evaluated the known intelligent species based on their technological advancements, social stability, and interstellar diplomacy. At the top were the Xelathians, a species of hyper-intelligent telepaths, who had achieved complete societal harmony through a strict adherence to logic-based governance. Below them were the Quarath, who had mastered quantum manipulation and could construct entire cities from pure energy in mere minutes. And then, at the very bottom of the rankings, was Earth. To the Galactic Academy, humanity was a historical footnote-tier species that had barely left its home planet and was so reckless that it had nearly wiped itself out multiple times through its own wars, environmental negligence, and self-inflicted catastrophes. The Council of Universal Studies, responsible for maintaining Galactic Civilization's official database of species, had long ago classified humanity as a Category 7 anomaly, lowest possible ranking, reserved for species that demonstrated self-destructive tendencies and were unlikely to contribute meaningfully to the intergalactic order. For most of galactic history, humans had been considered too primitive to bother with. The few times they had been observed, reports had been confusing at best, horrifying at worst. A species that consumed poisonous substances, alcohol, for fun. A civilization that created weapons powerful enough to destroy their own planet just in case. A people who studied the mysteries of the cosmos but still argued about the shape of their home planet. From the perspective of the Academy's highly structured scholars, humans weren't just primitive, they were nonsensical. And then came the UFO disclosure. When the news reached the Academy that humans had finally admitted to the existence of extraterrestrial phenomena on their home planet, most professors reacted with mild amusement. They must be panicking, Professor Schilvek, an Xelathian historian, had said confidently. Such a primitive species won't be able to handle the realization that they aren't alone. It wasn't until the first cultural analysis reports came in that the truth became clear. Humans weren't panicking. Humans didn't seem to care. They laughed about it. They made jokes. They turned it into internet memes. And that's when the real panic began among the aliens. The Galactic Order, a governing body that had spent millennia perfecting its rules, had never accounted for a species like humans. Their highly bureaucratic structure relied on logic, predictability, and structured responses, three things humans completely lacked. Every civilization in the Galactic Order had a protocol for first contact. Panic, global unity, formal diplomatic outreach, integration into the intergalactic community. Humanity did none of those things. Instead, The most common reaction among humans to their government admitting that UFOs might be real was, "Yeah, figures." The Galactic Order was stunned. There had to be a reason. Did humans already know more than they were letting on? Had Earth already been visited? Were humans just so desensitized to chaos that alien life didn't even register as an issue? For the first time in centuries, the Galactic Academy's scholars were at a loss. Their biggest question wasn't whether humans were intelligent enough to join the galactic community, was whether humanity had been hiding its true nature all along. Buried deep within the galactic archives, in a section so rarely accessed that most scholars didn't even know it existed, lay a long-forgotten regulation. Do not interfere with Earth. Do not attempt to integrate humans before they initiate contact. Do not acknowledge their presence in galactic affairs. No one knew who had written it. No one knew when it had been added. But the fact that such a rule existed at all suggested one horrifying possibility. Someone at some point in history had tried. And whatever had happened was bad enough that the galaxy had agreed to leave Earth alone. Now that humans had officially entered the conversation, the Academy's brightest minds had to face a terrifying reality. Humanity wasn't afraid of the unknown. The unknown was afraid of humanity. And if that was true, what else was Earth hiding? For centuries, Earth had been ignored, a cosmic anomaly that the Galactic Order deliberately refused to engage with. Buried deep within classified archives, an ancient directive warned, "Do not interfere with Earth. Do not attempt contact. Do not acknowledge their existence." The directive had no source, no historical record, and no explanation. But it was followed without question. Because somewhere, at some point in history, someone had tried to engage with humanity, and regretted it. The moment Earth officially acknowledged UFOs, the Galactic Order panicked. To them, UFO disclosure wasn't just an announcement, it was a warning. Humanity had just admitted to something beyond their understanding, and didn't care. For a civilization like the Xelathians, whose society was built on strict protocols, order, and meticulous control, this was unthinkable. Every other species in the galaxy had responded to first contact with fear, unity, and diplomacy. But humans? They made jokes. They turned it into memes. They ignored it and went to work the next day. This was not normal. Why wasn't humanity afraid? Had they already encountered something worse? Had they been visited before? Were humans hiding something? The Galactic Academy's scholars debated for weeks, poring over every piece of human history, looking for patterns. What they found terrified them. Every time humans encountered the unknown, their response wasn't to flee or surrender, it was to investigate, adapt, and weaponize it. They saw fire, they harnessed it. They faced predators, they hunted them into extinction. They discovered radiation, they turned it into both energy and bombs. Every existential threat humans had ever faced, they had turned into an advantage. What happened if they did the same with extraterrestrial life? Desperate for answers, the Xelathians sent a small research probe to Earth, cloaked in quantum invisibility technology so advanced that it was considered undetectable. The probe's mission was simple: observe human responses to the UFO disclosure, gather intelligence on Earth's true capabilities, leave undetected. It never made it past step 1. Before the probe could even transmit its first report, it was hacked, disabled, and reverse-engineered by an amateur radio enthusiast in Ohio. Within hours, the entire human internet was flooded with conspiracy theories, government denials, and wild speculation. Within a day, human engineers were already modifying the alien technology, integrating it into their own military and consumer industries. Within a week, humans had begun broadcasting messages into space, not with fear or caution, but with invitations. The Galactic Order realized too late what they had done. They didn't just observe humanity. They woke them up, and there was no turning back. The Xelathians, the most advanced civilization in the Galactic Order, had always believed themselves to be masters of the cosmos. They had catalogued every known species, regulated every planetary system, and established the rules of interstellar diplomacy with absolute precision. And yet, nothing in their extensive databases had prepared them for humanity. When the Earth probe incident exposed the Galactic Order to human awareness, the Xelathian High Council braced for the inevitable. Mass panic, global chaos, the usual response of a primitive species encountering the unknown. Instead, humans made memes. Within hours of the first leaked reports of reverse-engineered alien technology, The internet was flooded with absurd human reactions. Aliens exist, but rent is still due? SMH. If aliens aren't paying taxes, I refuse to acknowledge them. Yo, Xelathians, do y'all have pizza? The Galactic Intelligence Agency monitored these strange human transmissions, trying to decode their meaning. Xelathian analysts were baffled. We have severely underestimated their mental resilience, one scholar whispered, his crystalline skin flickering with stress. They should be in existential crisis, another muttered. Why are they laughing? The Galactic Council, worried about a potential interstellar war, debated how to handle Earth's response. After weeks of deliberation, the official decision was made. Contact the humans, explain our existence, offer guidance, establish order. But before they could, the humans contacted them first. Via Twitter, a 20-year-old university student from Colorado, using a hacked transmission relay, sent a public message directly into Galactic Council frequencies. Yo, aliens, drop the intergalactic Spotify playlist. The message was received across multiple star systems. The Galactic Council chambers erupted into pure, unfiltered panic. The Xelathians, known for their painstaking diplomatic protocols, scrambled to respond. Within 3 days, a 26-page interstellar treaty draft was written to address first contact protocols. Meanwhile, humans responded with fan art of what aliens might look like. Petition to let aliens play in the NBA. A global conspiracy theory that Earth was already part of a secret galactic reality television show. When the Xelathians' official diplomatic ship finally arrived, they expected a formal planetary welcome, a delegation of leaders, a structured negotiation process. Instead, they were greeted by a group of humans wearing tinfoil hats for protection, someone live streaming the event on TikTok, a man holding a "Welcome Space Nerd" sign. Xelathian diplomats stood frozen, staring at the chaotic, unregulated mess that was human first contact. What is happening? Whispered High Chancellor Vex, his crystalline hands trembling. The Xelathians, naturally cautious beings, assumed that human unpredictability was merely a result of their early exposure to intergalactic affairs. They just needed time to adjust. That illusion was shattered when a human diplomat refused to start the meeting until he got coffee. I'm not discussing galactic politics before caffeine. The Xelathians, confused, assumed this was a sacred human ritual and scrambled to provide Earth's most valuable trade commodity, Starbucks. The Galactic Trade Commission, unaware of humanity's dependence on coffee, nearly declared caffeine a Class 1 controlled substance. It took 3 weeks to reverse the ban. Beyond their humor, humans were terrifyingly fast at adaptation. A group of engineers, given access to a Xelathian ship, hacked the navigation system within hours and optimized its efficiency by 37% by accident. A team of high school students cracked the galactic encryption protocol just to see if they could. Within a month, humans had started applying for intergalactic jobs, joining alien pop culture, and inventing conspiracy theories about themselves. The Xelathians, whose civilizations had evolved over millennia, realized with horror that humanity was evolving in real time. Humans weren't just surviving in the galactic community. They were taking over by accident. By the end of the first year, the Galactic Order attempted to contain humanity's influence with a formal statement. The galactic community acknowledges the presence of Earth and requests that all civilizations handle human interaction with extreme caution. Earth responded by turning it into a meme. The Xelathians, exhausted, officially gave up. Their final ruling was simple. Humans cannot be controlled. Just let them do whatever they're going to do. And with that, the era of human integration into the galaxy officially began. The universe was never the same again. The Xelathians, once the undisputed architects of cosmic order, had spent millennia regulating civilizations, ensuring that progress followed a structured and predictable path. Every species that joined the Galactic Order was carefully integrated, their innovations studied, their cultural excesses moderated. No civilization had ever upset the balance because the system would not allow it, until humans arrived. And within months, everything fell apart. The Xelathian Bureau of Galactic Infrastructure prided itself on its perfectly calibrated technology. Everything from hyperspace routes to planetary weather patterns was regulated with near mathematical perfection. Then, humans got involved. It started when a group of engineers from Earth, noticing inefficiencies in Xelathian starship design, made a few minor adjustments to the propulsion matrix. The result? A 37% increase in efficiency, a 50% reduction in hyperspace turbulence, and an unexplainable side effect where ships could occasionally arrive before they even left. The Galactic Science Council had no idea how this was possible. The humans, when asked how they did it, simply shrugged. "I don't know, we just tweaked a few things." The Xelathians panicked. While scientists were trying to reverse engineer the human hyperspace paradox, another group of Earth-based architects decided to fix the visual layout of a nearby galaxy. According to humans, the spiral arm structure was uneven, and the alignment of planets felt off. So, they changed it. Without warning, star systems rearranged themselves. Constellations shifted into recognizable patterns, some shaped like Earth animals, others forming logos of popular human brands. The Xelathians were horrified. "You cannot just move entire planetary systems." "Why not? Looks better this way." For the first time in history, the Galactic Bureau of Celestial Mapping had to issue a statement declaring their records obsolete. The Xelathians collapsed into existential dread. A group of human researchers, experimenting with quantum anomalies, accidentally discovered a way to edit fundamental laws of physics. Instead of studying it carefully, they uploaded a modification to the galactic network. The results? Gravity was now optional on certain planets. Light speed was now slightly faster in some regions of space, because why not? One planet's entire population evolved into a musical species after a minor update in vibrational physics. The Xelathians, watching in horror, attempted to stop the changes. But the humans had already patched reality before they could intervene. "It's fine. We fixed the bugs." The Galactic Order realized with growing dread that humans saw reality as something to be improved, like software. And that terrified them. By the time the Galactic High Council convened an emergency summit, it was already too late. Humanity wasn't trying to take over the galaxy. They were just making it better. Without a war, without a fleet, without even asking for permission. The Xelathians, who had ruled the galaxy through strict control and careful oversight, were now powerless in the face of human creativity. Humans weren't an invasion force. They were an unstoppable evolutionary event. And for the first time in galactic history, the Xelathians had no idea what to do. The Xelathians had spent millennia perfecting order, constructing an efficient, structured galactic civilization where everything had its place. Every species followed strictly regulated paths of advancement, and the laws of physics themselves were regarded as absolute constants. Then, humans happened. And now, nothing made sense anymore. The first major catastrophe, improvement, as the humans called it, came when a group of engineers from Earth got access to an uninhabited sector containing a black hole. The Xelathians, assuming that human scientists would conduct careful, methodical research, were horrified when the humans instead turned it into an amusement park. "The gravity slingshot will be the best ride in the galaxy. What if we installed floating observation decks inside the event horizon? Can we make it glow neon blue?" Before anyone could stop them, the Black Hole Entertainment Complex was fully operational, complete with a zero-gravity roller coaster that orbited dangerously close to the event horizon. Gravity wave surfing, a new extreme sport, a luxury resort for VIPs who wanted to feel the pull of infinite destruction in comfort. The Galactic Science Council, once composed of dignified scholars, now spent its days hyperventilating into paper bags. While the Xelathians were still trying to legally ban black hole theme parks, another problem emerged. A human artist, casually observing the galactic map, remarked, "These spiral arms look kind of uneven. Should we fix that?" What followed was a cosmic-scale disaster. Constellations were rearranged to form more aesthetically pleasing patterns. Stars were repositioned to ensure planets had optimal sunsets. A cluster of moons was reshaped into a smiley face. For the first time in history, the Xelathians had to issue a formal notice declaring all previous galactic maps obsolete. "You cannot simply move entire solar systems," an exasperated diplomat screamed at a human engineer. "Well, technically we can. And we did. Looks better, don't you think?" Perhaps the most terrifying development came when a team of human physicists, frustrated by long-distance space travel, accidentally discovered a way to manipulate time. At first, it was a simple proposal. What if we could speed up or slow down time in certain regions of space to make travel more efficient? The result? Entire planets were now operating at different time speeds. Some sections of the universe had time zones where one day lasted a century. One restaurant installed a pause time zone to give customers infinite lunch breaks. The Xelathians, who had spent thousands of years ensuring the galaxy remained synchronized, realized they had completely lost control. "You just broke causality," one scientist cried. "Relax," a human reassured them. "We put in an undo button." The undo button did not work. By now, the Xelathian High Council had stopped trying to restore order. Instead, they held a final meeting where the only item on the agenda was, "What do we do about the humans?" "We cannot regulate them," one council member admitted. "We cannot predict them," another added. "We cannot stop them," the High Chancellor concluded, rubbing his crystalline temples. The room fell silent. Then, after a long pause, Xylath, once a proud enforcer of order, sighed and slumped back in his chair. "Fine, just let them do whatever they're going to do." And thus the era of human dominance began not through war, but through sheer, unstoppable creativity. The Xelathians had always believed that control was power. Their civilization had stood for millennia, shaping the galaxy's laws, maintaining order, and ensuring that nothing disrupted the grand system of stability they had carefully built. Now, that system was gone, and in its place was humanity's chaos. For the first time in recorded history, the Xelathian High Council held a meeting with no structured agenda because their system no longer functioned. Star maps, useless galaxies had been rearranged for aesthetic reasons. Time regulations, meaningless planets now existed in slow-motion bubbles, while others experienced weeks in a day. Trade routes, obliterated because humans had turned black holes into transit hubs. Everything the Xelathians had spent centuries managing had been transformed in months, and nobody seemed to care but them. Xylath, now permanently stressed, looked around at his fellow council members, who all wore expressions of resignation, exhaustion, and reluctant awe. "We lost control," Xylath finally admitted. "We spent millennia ruling this galaxy, and in less than a year the humans turned it into whatever this is." The others nodded grimly. No one disputed it. The Xelathians, once revered, were now irrelevant. And the most disturbing part? The humans hadn't even tried to overthrow them. The Council had expected humans to demand power, to install themselves as rulers, or to declare themselves the dominant species. Instead, the humans simply laughed. "We don't want to rule," one human diplomat said, sipping a quantum-infused cocktail at a newly established galactic bar. "We just wanted things to be more interesting." The Xelathians blinked. "You destroyed thousands of years of governance for fun?" Destroyed is a strong word," the human shrugged. "We prefer redesigned." The Xelathians felt their last shred of sanity unraveling. At first, the Xelathians resisted. They tried to restore old systems, re-implement old rules, and force structure back onto the galaxy. It didn't work. Their bureaucracy couldn't keep up with a species that rearranged reality on impulse. But slowly, they began to understand. Control wasn't power anymore. Adaptation was. And so, for the first time in Xelathian history, the High Council made an unprecedented decision. They would stop fighting the chaos and embrace it. The shift wasn't immediate, but it was unstoppable. Xelathians, once rigid and inflexible, began experimenting with human-style innovation. Galactic legislation was simplified because humans refused to read 100-page documents. City planning was replaced with vibe-based design. Bureaucrats abandoned their calculation systems and started using gut instinct. Xylath, once an enforcer of galactic stability, now sat in a human-designed spaceship, watching as a group of humans debated whether wormholes should have theme music. And for the first time he laughed, because he finally understood. The humans weren't a threat, they were a beginning. A new era of unpredictable, ever-changing cosmic evolution. And the Xelathians had a choice. Be part of it, or be left behind. The universe had changed. The Xelathians had once believed they were the guardians of order, the architects of the cosmos, ensuring that everything functioned according to plan. Now, the plan was gone, and in its place was humanity's chaos. Gone were the rigid bureaucratic rules that had once dictated every planetary movement. In their place were suggested guidelines, loose recommendations that no one actually followed. The laws of physics were no longer set in stone. Humans had improved them, introducing gravity sliders, instant wormhole travel, and customizable time zones for different planets. The Galactic Council, once the ultimate authority, had been reduced to a group of exasperated officials filing complaints that no one read. And yet, the galaxy was thriving. Trade had never been better, cultural exchange flourished, and entire civilizations adapted to the new, ever-changing reality. The universe wasn't falling apart. It was evolving. Xylath, once the Xelathian enforcer of order, now sat at a human-run galactic cafe, sipping a drink called Reality Shake, watching as an alien DJ remixed the sound waves of a pulsar into music. A human plopped down across from him, grinning. So, enjoying the new universe? Xylath sighed, staring at the planet-sized disco ball humans had casually installed around a sun. "It's different," he admitted. "Yeah, we get that a lot," the human laughed. "But you have to admit, it's more fun this way." Xylath glanced at the galactic skyline, where a group of humans were negotiating a peace treaty over a high-stakes game of laser tag. And, for the first time, he smiled. Maybe you're right. The Xelathians had spent millennia fearing change. Now, thanks to humanity, they had no choice but to embrace it. And the universe would never be the same again.